Put this together, there was a list that in my head that I was dreaming about. Like, there's got to be this perfect group of people that can come out to inspire you guys to really take your business to the next level. And this person kept coming up in my head, and I was like, we're not going to get him. There's no way we're getting him. And we reached out, and I want to say it took her, I don't know, like a month to get back with us, and she was like, I'm in. And then it was like, okay, and we did this, right? And she got on a plane and came out here. She is 2021 Forbes' most influential social media influencer, if that makes sense. But she has broken through every barrier that's tried to hold her back. And she'll tell you her story about that. But there's nobody quite like this individual. If you're on LinkedIn, you probably have seen her. Her name is Shay Rowbottom, and we are very lucky to have her today. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Shay Rowbottom.
Working out, sleeping in, taking vitamins. Oh, I've been waking up.
Hello. How is everyone? Good. I hope you're all inspired after that talk from Alex. Excuse me?
I love your outfit.
Thank you so much. I wore it just for you, honey. Just for you. All right. Well, I'm super excited to be here today, and I have a similar message as Alex. I'm not going to rap today, sadly. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make it today. Maybe at the happy hour you can catch me a little, but so I think that Alex set you guys up really good to understand, if you don't already know, the value of LinkedIn. And it's a really funny story because I knew nothing about LinkedIn. When I first got into digital marketing, I actually owned a company that worked on Facebook, doing video licensing for large pages on Facebook that needed relevant content to grow their audience. And I was doing that for years successfully, knew nothing about LinkedIn, wasn't even on my radar. And from the outside looking in, anyone could say that I had a pretty sweet life. We were doing over 1 billion views a month cumulatively for our clients on Facebook, 7-figure business, it was growing. But I was lying to myself for quite a long time working in that company. And the lie that I was telling myself was that I was actually fulfilled being part of that agency. And I wasn't. But I thought I should be, because all of the boxes were checked, and I did everything correctly, and I was making money, and I had the clout, and I was like, no, I should be happy. But I was deeply unfulfilled. I was seriously insecure and couldn't even imagine going off on my own away from my male partners at the time. And my investors started to hound me for more leads. So I had these 3 predicaments. 1, I was unfulfilled, and I started to get honest with myself about that. 2, I was really insecure. I did not have a real self-esteem to stand on yet. And 3, I needed leads for that marketing agency I was running at the time on Facebook. So I went home one night and decided to write a prayer in my diary. And this was really interesting for me because I've never been like super religious, didn't really go to church or anything, but for whatever reason, that day, I was just so called to go journal, connect, and write a prayer. And this is what I said. Dear God, please send me a sign that things will get better for me. Please send me a sign that my life will have purpose and won't be in vain. Please help me feel alive again. And that was it. Closed my diary, went back to my sorry office job. And 1 week after I wrote that prayer in my diary, I met a man who told me I should get on LinkedIn. And I was like, LinkedIn? Like, isn't that kind of like for old people, like recruiters? Like, I don't really think that's my platform, LinkedIn. And he was like, no, listen, Shay. you have a video marketing company, you already know everything about video. LinkedIn just released video as a feature on the platform, and no one's using it. There's no competition. Why don't you start making videos on LinkedIn to attract business? And this was early 2018 when I started. So I said, okay, I'll give it a go. And I didn't know that this was going to be the answer to that prayer I had just written in my diary. So I started very simple. Actually, I'll show you here. That was my first ever LinkedIn video, and that's Q, my little angel, who told me to get on LinkedIn. So I started really simple, just 3 selfie-style videos per week uploaded to my LinkedIn page. That was all I was willing to commit to. I said, I'm going to give this a fair shot. I posted every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, quick 60, 90-second clips talking about video marketing tips, my industry, my expertise. But what was really interesting was I really just started to talk about myself. I started to talk about my life. I got brave one day and opened up about my struggle with mental health and depression, thinking, what am I doing? My business partners are going to kill me. This is like business suicide. And it was actually the most high-performing video I had on the platform yet. People on LinkedIn, especially in comparison to other social media platforms, are so kind. They actually are willing to engage in healthy debate and not just attack you when they disagree with you, not just bully you like other platforms. So soon, I learned through posting these 3 videos a week that I was finding more fulfillment. I was finding an outlet for all of these things I'd been repressing all these years running this agency with these male partners that I hated. And it started to really build up my confidence through the community on LinkedIn, supporting me, guiding me, helping me with my business, giving me advice, following me. I suddenly built up the confidence that I was missing. And here's the real kicker. Within 2 months of posting these videos consistently on my LinkedIn, I had generated over 6 figures in revenue for that Facebook marketing agency I was running at the time. Thank you. So the light bulb started to go off, right? I was like, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother business here. And through the community and everyone being so nice and the support and the confidence I started to build, I was like, you know what? I can do this. I'm going to go off on my own. And I decided to pivot. I sold my shares in the Facebook agency, and I pivoted to LinkedIn completely, where ever since I've been teaching business owners and professionals how to make engaging video content that grows their following and attracts inbound leads on LinkedIn, just like I have. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn. I think Alex killed it. Wasn't he great? Oh, I was so impressed. Thank you, Alex. So I know he touched on some of these things, but I just want to cover what you guys might not realize about LinkedIn. So first of all, it's important to understand that there's no other social media platform with this many educated people on it with money. Think about it. What other platform are people already in the mindset to do business when they log on to the platform? And this is why I like to use this analogy that LinkedIn is the networking event of social media. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, now we have all these new platforms popping up. Those are more like the backyard barbecue of social media. Meaning, what's the difference? When someone goes to a backyard barbecue, they're maybe not in the mindset to do business. I mean, they might, but they're more likely just trying to crack open a beer, catch up with old friends, share some jokes, just like Facebook or Instagram, right? Whereas when you go to a networking event or a business mastermind, you're already in the mindset to do business, right? You've got your name tag, you've got your business cards, you're ready to pitch, you're ready to be pitched. You're ready to look for partners, vendors, employees, someone to solve your problem, and you're already in a way more receptive mode to be sold to. That's LinkedIn. Everyone on LinkedIn is the market. You can run ads on Facebook, you can run ads on Instagram, and yeah, you can find your target and get some sales through there, but on LinkedIn, you can do it organically because that is the target. The entire platform is already in the mindset to do business. It's also the most trusted social network when it comes to privacy and data. As you guys know, humanity is waking up to this whole data privacy thing, like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe we gotta be a little more careful with our data. So that's also good to know. People on LinkedIn are a lot more trusting, and you're building trust when you grow a following on the most trusted social media platform, so that's pretty cool. 4 out of 5 people drive business decisions. I don't think that's a shocker to many of you. There's a lot of high-level influencers, decision makers on LinkedIn. I always say, it's not just the people you're connected to on LinkedIn, it's the connections of their connections. Because everyone on LinkedIn is in a mind frame to be helpful. So even if you run across someone and they're not fit for your service, chances are they can connect you to someone who is. So keep that in mind. Most people on LinkedIn are the money bags, they're connected to the money bags, or there's some sort of decision maker or influencer. Okay, so what to talk about? This is a big one. The biggest question I get from my clients coming into my program when they're brand new to making videos and they're just starting to grow a following around their business or their brand online is, okay, I'm sold, I know I need video, I know this is the future, but I have no idea what to talk about. This is so common. And I'm gonna break down my strategy of how I grew so quickly and how I gained so much trust with the audience on LinkedIn, because it goes beyond just talking about my niche, right? As I mentioned, I shared a lot of personal stuff and I cast the net really wide, and we'll get to that in a minute. But when it comes to just strictly business, look, I'm here for the ROI, I want to attract my target market, what am I going to talk about? If nothing else, frame all of your content around this. What do I know that my target market doesn't know that would make their lives easier? That's it. You want to frame everything around that. What do I know that they don't know that would make their lives easier? So you are all the expert in your industry. You already know by now from sales calls and talking to prospects what the FAQs are. What are the frequently asked questions? What are the things you're constantly repeating on the phone, educating them on before you make the sale? That's going to make their life easier. And when you do content around that, you inadvertently position yourself as an authority in that space. So as an example for me, what do I know that my target market doesn't know that would make their lives easier? Okay, well, my target market is anyone on LinkedIn who needs help creating videos around their business. So what do they not know that I could share with them to make their life easier? I don't know, maybe how long the videos should be on LinkedIn, the ideal length, some free apps that you can run your file through to get subtitles on really quickly. These are just things that's gonna make their video process easier and get them to see me as the expert. So even if they don't wanna buy from me right away or they don't have the budget for marketing, eventually when they do, and someone at the firm says, okay, we're gonna invest in LinkedIn, we're gonna invest in video marketing, what do we do, who do we call? Who do you think they're gonna suggest? Me, because I've already been proving to them that I'm an authority in this space. So for those of you who are ambitious and want to get started right away, which I hope a lot of you are, you can even jot down some of those ideas right here sitting down. What do you know that they don't know that would make their life easier and that would inadvertently get them to start to see you as an expert so that they can sell themselves before they get on the phone? Now, this is where things get really interesting. There's a big misconception that in order to grow a business online, you have to be 100% niche. And I want to put out a disclaimer that you can do that and still grow a business. And everyone has a different level of comfortability with what they're willing to share on social media. But the thing is, I grew so much quicker because of my willingness to be so raw and vulnerable on social media. I gotta sip my water before I tell this story. So, I'm not gonna pretend like I knew what I was doing in the beginning when I was like, oh my God, I'm depressed, help. I didn't realize that that was a way to build trust with an audience and provide value and get people to feel safe with you. I was simply just crying for help. Because as I mentioned earlier in the story, I was very unfulfilled at that business, and I had been there for years, stuck, insecure, feeling like I wasn't strong enough to go off on my own. And when I got on LinkedIn, that just came like spilling out of me, and it was a little weird. I felt like, you know what? I just have nothing to lose anymore. I don't care. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about depression is you start to just, any of you have like that like kind of like mopey, depressed like friend who's always in a mood, right? But they're like the most honest friend you have. Okay. Well, that's what was happening when I got on LinkedIn. And I started to share my own experience. You know, I started to share personal stories of what I'd been through with tough relationships, etc. And I also covered more general topics as well. You know, what I think about hiring, what I think about scaling a company, the 4-day work week. You know, something that just could apply to all of LinkedIn. And we'll get into that more in a minute. But basically, I was not 100% niche. And that is a misconception. And the reason that I was able to grow quicker than if I only talked about video marketing tips and if I only talked about my business is because I was casting the net wide. So I was opening myself up to just reach more eyeballs. So yeah, you can be 100% niche and you can definitely attract clients that way, but I'm going for the top of funnel. I'm going for, I want everybody to know who I am, even people who will never buy video marketing. Maybe they'll relate to a personal story of mine, they'll follow me, and they'll become a brand ambassador. And that's what I'm after. So not everyone is going to get in the door just based on your solution alone. People might follow you for the tips, but it might be a personal story that you share that actually pushes them over the edge of like, you know what, yes, I want that guy to be my broker, or I want that woman to do my work. This is someone that I can relate to. And that's the power of being vulnerable. That's the power of opening up and sharing. And also just finding creative ways to get attention on your profile. As I mentioned, more general topics. What's just relevant to LinkedIn? Oh, let me tell a story about one time when I got fired. You know, how many people on LinkedIn can relate to that? So I'm casting the net wide and I'm getting more traffic. Even if the traffic is not my target audience, if they share that video, it's gonna show up in the feed of more of my target audience. So that's the play here. And also just people do business with people, not businesses. I think that's something that people still really struggle with a lot on LinkedIn, and again, why I had an advantage. Everyone on LinkedIn is trying to be so professional, so suit and tie, buttoned up, we have no flaws, we're perfect. And what they don't realize they're doing when they act that way is they're actually communicating to their audience, hey, I'm not relatable to you. I have no flaws. So, people buy on emotions, and when you open up and share something personal, you're more likely to connect with them on an emotional level and push them over the edge to actually buy your service. All right, now let's talk about video. So I think Alex covered this a little bit, so I'll try to be quick, but really just the biggest misconceptions are that video production is too time-consuming and too expensive. That's the old world, right? I think back in the 90s, everyone could agree video production was a big deal. You had to hire a crew, you had to spend a whole day shooting, it was cinematic, there was lights, there was makeup, and it was a very time-consuming, expensive ordeal. That is not the case anymore. We all have the power to create video now, right here. We are all videographers. So, another misconception when people get started is that they think that they need to have a really professional, fancy setup. And I caution you here because this is also a big mistake I see a lot of my clients making when they come into my program, is they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy an A7S, I'm gonna buy a nice camera, et cetera, I'm gonna do this big thing. First of all, nobody cares about the quality of production on social media. There are influencers who build millions and millions of followers and they've shot everything on their cell phone. It's much more important the quality of the message. Are you providing value? Are you making their lives easier, like I mentioned before? And what's more important in this statement about keeping it simple, just starting on your cell phone, don't overthink it, don't have this big elaborate setup, is that you want to stay consistent more than anything else on social media. And what a lot of people do when they start is they shoot themselves in the foot by having this elaborate, crazy setup that just actually makes it really hard to sustain. So what can you commit to? Don't bite off more than you can chew. You do not need a heavy setup and a bunch of posts every week. Remember what I started with? 3 posts. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, on my cell phone. I added basic subtitles. That was it. I literally wasn't even wearing makeup in my first videos. Like, it was so casual. But I stayed consistent. And then after months and months of doing that, when I started to get the ROI, I started to get the followers, I started to get the clients, I started to have money to reinvest into a greater setup, then I started doing higher production. But don't waste your time if you don't even have a following yet who's going to appreciate that cinematic quality. The reality is nobody on social media cares. We have all, by now, shared or liked or engaged with a video on social media that was clearly shot on someone's cell phone, right? You guys ever shared a video that was clearly shot on a cell phone? Yes. You guys get me. This guy gets me over here. I know you do, yeah. All right. So make it easy on yourself. You can always reinvest later. I would hate for you guys to have a little ding at your video self-esteem by feeling bad about yourself when you don't follow through on your commitments because you just made it really hard on yourself. So, and my favorite thing about video, this is where we're gonna get into the real Shayshine talk. Chris, this is what he's been waiting for. All right, what does video do more than anything else outside of getting business and all this tactical stuff? You get to face all of your shit. You do. There's nowhere to run on video. It's scary. It's scary to see yourself on camera. It's scary to hear your voice back. How many people are like, I don't like my voice on the recording. Well, sorry, George. That's your voice in person too, buddy. Sorry. So, again, LinkedIn completely changed my life. Answer to my prayers. Never would have thought that a business platform that gave me an opportunity to teach business owners video, which I already had a pretty good expertise on, was also gonna show me how to heal my depression, get to the root of my insecurities, and then become a beacon for other people to do the same. I just, wow, God, over-delivered, did not see that coming, okay? There is a lot of fear when it comes to seeing yourself on camera. A lot of people just want to give up. They just want to use text posts. They just want to use photo posts and images and articles. And don't get me wrong, you can grow on social media with those formats. But trust me, time and time again, the posts of mine that convert the most in terms of leads are always going to be the videos, always. Because again, people buy from people, not businesses. And the best way to connect to someone is through the video, talking head on the video. So this is a spiritual journey, you guys. When you start making videos, you think, oh, I'm just gonna like grow a business following, I'm gonna get some more business. No. You're gonna face yourself. You're gonna grow. You will have haters. Get ready, because it's so much fun. You will have insecurities, you will have weaknesses or perceived weaknesses that you thought you have but you actually don't, that you're gonna start to get over. This is the beauty of social media. You know, haters aren't your enemy, they're your friends. Those are the people that make you the strongest. The comments that make me grow the most are not from all my fans praising me and how amazing I am. It's the people pointing out how much I suck and all my flaws. Those are the people who make me grow the most, because I have to sit and breathe and deep breathing. Okay, childhood trauma coming up. What am I going to do here? And I have to face it and ask myself, what is this really communicating to me? What is this really telling me? So keep that in mind. People, through my video program, I have seen people transform their confidence. If they stick with the video and they stay consistent and they go through those haters and everything, man, it is just night and day what comes out. Their sales increase, they get better at public speaking, they become more confident. I had one client, his wife called me thanking me. Oh my gosh, my husband's so confident now. Thank you for your video program. I'm like, wow. So it really pays off in more area than just one. It is a spiritual journey starting these videos. And if you're like me and you want to talk about more than just business and you want to cast the net wide and share your true beliefs, it's also important to understand you can't say anything of value without offending someone. This is a Jordan Peterson quote. But he's right. How many people hate Jordan Peterson? Oof, quite a few these days, yeah. Yeah, this is true, you guys. If you don't have haters, you don't have fans. Facts. You can't say anything of value without offending someone. It's sad that the world has gone the way it has with so much sensitivity, because the truth is the most powerful messages aren't going to be everyone's favorite message. And also, when you are the one getting offended, again, that's on you to dig in and deal with it yourself. What am I learning here? Trying to change everyone around you, trying to change the world around you so that you feel comfortable, that's exhausting. How about empower yourself and change you? So, thank you, Jordan. Love that quote. And people buy from people who believe in things. I love this one, you guys. I've shared a lot of my true beliefs on LinkedIn. Things like, hey, I think college is bullshit. Look, I know maybe not everyone's going to agree with that. You still need degrees for some fields. I get it. But I'm going to say I think it's, for the most part at this point in time, BS. And I took a stand on that. I dropped out of college, A lot of people disliked it, but even more people came in the door. Oh my gosh, I feel the same way and I'm afraid to say it. How much is your video program? So keep that in mind. People buy from people who take a stand. If you're trying to be nihilist and vanilla and just get everyone to like you, trust me, it's not the path to more growth. It might seem fun to put all of your energy into getting everyone to like you, but let me tell you this. Putting all of your energy into getting everyone to like you is, one, going to be exhausting, but two, people will still hate you. Yeah, thank you, yes. People still will not like you. So why not just be yourself anyways? So this is something a lot of people struggle with. People really struggle to put themselves out there, especially in the world today. And I love what Alex said too, because he covered a lot of this in one of his earlier slides. So maybe you guys can answer this question, but based on what I'm talking about and also what you heard Alex cover, what do you guess, and I'm going to call on some hands here, what do you think, take a guess, the biggest issue I see with my clients is?
Fear.
Say it again?
Fear.
Say it louder.
Fear.
Fear. Very close. Very close.
Getting started. Procrastinating.
Okay. I'm going to say, what's your name? Justin? Justin's closest here. Shame. And he's actually right. It's the fear of shame, but shame is the core problem. This is the problem people struggle with the most. It's the number one issue I see with my clients. I did not know I was going to end up being a shame coach. But so often they come in and they're just like, I'm so scared. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be made fun of. I don't want to have haters. It's like, whoa. Where did we arrive in the world where we all just feel like we have to be so incredibly fake to be accepted and to get business? It's really amazing how powerful this is. And I'm going to go into this a little bit here before I end. Who's familiar with David Hawkins? Raise a hand. Yes. Okay, good. So David Hawkins, he's brilliant. This is what he created. It's called the map of consciousness. And when you follow this map from the bottom to the top, it walks you through all human emotions and where they calibrate energy-wise. all the way from the lowest, most depressive human emotion to the highest form of experience, enlightenment. And you see that middle line in the middle there, right between courage and pride? You guys see that line? So when you get below that line and you're radiating at the level of pride, it sucks you downward. It's like a suction vacuum, and it gets easier to pull down and down and down and down. You ever fallen into a dark pit of despair? Like, that's why, because you go below the line, and then it pulls you down. But if you get above the line, it does the opposite. If you get up to courage, it'll start to pull you up, and you can hit enlightenment, which I know we're all after, a lot quicker. So this is a great tool. I highly recommend his books for those of you who are into personal development. But the reason I want to pull this up here is because I want people to understand that shame is the lowest of human emotions. When you shame someone, there is nowhere to go but down. And shame is a powerful way to control someone. This has been the playbook for the last 2 years. We shame one another. We live in a shame-based society. Oh, you're racist. Oh, that's xenophobic. Oh, it is just, we are constantly throwing out shame at one another, trying to control the actions of the other person. And you know what judgment actually is? When you're judging someone else and you're saying, oh, they're just full of themselves. Oh, can you believe she's wearing hot pink and this outfit? Judgment is actually just a temporary relief from our own shame. So when you catch yourself judging someone, ask yourself, what do I actually feel shame about that I need to judge this person? So this is what I call the real epidemic. The fear, thank you, Justin, the fear of shame. People don't want to be shamed. They will do anything. They will do anything to not feel shame. They would literally rather enslave themselves and their own children than to feel shame. Because humans have a biological need to fit in. We do. We have to fit in. Otherwise, we'll be cast out from the herd. When we were primal beings in the wild, in the jungle, and we, weren't fitting in and we were doing something that was very off from the culture, that was dangerous for us. We were going to get left behind, eaten by the tigers. So understand, this is normal. It is normal to feel shame. This is something all human beings go through, but we need to wake up. We need to get over the fear of the shame, and we need to start being brave and understand not everybody is going to like you. Not everybody is going to resonate with you, but guess what? The people who don't resonate with your content, the people who don't resonate with your story, the people who are going to hate on you and shame you and bully you in the comments, those are people you do not want as a client anyways. And how beautiful, thank you. And how beautiful would it be if we could all attract clients that we could be our true selves with, right? That's the beauty. That's what I created for myself, and I'm so incredibly grateful when I show up to a coaching call. Oh, I can just be myself. All these people know me and my story and my cute little flaws and everything on LinkedIn, and I don't have to hide who I am to do business with. So, for those of you who are ready to start making content and you have a message to share outside of just your area of expertise, your industry, which I know you're all great at, understand this. If you feel it and you're afraid to say it, other people feel it and are afraid to speak out too. Other people feel it too. It's not just you. It's the way we've been programmed. It's the way we've been shamed. Oh, if you vote for this person, you're this. Oh, stay quiet about it. Stay quiet about it. Shame is hiding. Shame is hiding. If you feel it and you're afraid to say it, other people are out there and they feel it too, and they're dying to see someone else who feels the same way. They are just dying to have permission to, oh, I have that belief too. Oh my God, I thought I was the only one. I thought I was going to be shamed. I thought I was going to be ostracized from the herd. I thought I was going to be left behind in the jungle and eaten by tigers. So keep this in mind. When I post content that's a little controversial, and I myself am even a little afraid to hit post, like, oh my gosh, I don't know if people are going to agree with me, but you know what? This is my truth. I'm going to stand in it. I always get people in the comments saying, wow, I feel the same way. Thank you. Wow. You know what? I actually am in the business for some video marketing, Shay, and I'm gonna go and join your program. And I get tons of messages from people thanking me. Thank you for sharing that. When you do this, you not only set yourself up to attract the business that actually aligns with you, you open the floodgates for other people to take a stand too. You guys are giving them permission. The best thing you can do on social media is click post on a video that scares the shit out of you. It's the best thing. If you've got like content after content, you're like, yep, not scared at all, not scared at all, not scared at all, guess what? You're not gonna grow as much. You might get business, you know, you'll have fun, but this is the real path to the spiritual journey. You are the medicine. That's what I wanted to say. You are the medicine. You allow people to feel safe with you when you open up, get vulnerable, and share what you really believe. So, back to this map of consciousness. You guys got to check out David Hawkins. He's the best. So, remember what I said about how that dividing line in the middle is like a vacuum in either direction? Yeah? And how if you can make your way up to courage, it becomes a lot easier to get up to the other levels. Video is courage. Getting on camera and starting videos is courage. You will fly just like I did. You will start to discover you are so much more than you ever knew back when you were at that office, depressed, hating yourself, wishing you could leave. So, who's ready? Who's gonna do a video? Come on, you guys. Yeah! There we go. And one more quote. This is my friend Rich Sheffron, also a brilliant marketer, if you guys have ever heard of him. But he says, what is the most personal is the most general. So we tend to think that our personal story, our struggles, our divorce, our depression, our alcoholism, all these things, we tend to think nobody will relate to it, but it's actually the most relatable. What is the most personal is the most general. And I cannot stress that enough. You are not alone. We are in a paradigm shift in the world right now. People are done with the bullshit, for lack of a better word. People are ready to get up and start speaking the truth, to stop being controlled, to start speaking how they really feel, to face the shame, to face the rejection. Because as I mentioned before, inevitably people will reject you. Get over it. You have to get through the people who don't like you to find the tens, the people who align with you 150%, but you gotta take the risk and get through the people that will hate you too. So, to end, oh wait, one more thing. You need to build your empire on who you really are, because if you build it on a lie, you might make money, and like if you grow a following built on who you're not really, but like it's a gimmick, it's who you're trying to be, you can grow a following. You can grow a business, you can grow all these things, but if it's not built on who you really are, you will eventually want to destroy it. You will eventually want to burn it to the ground. You hear those stories about business people became millionaires, multimillionaires, but all of a sudden their life went to crap and they lost everything. Why? It's because they built it on something that's not really them. So I cannot stress that enough. All empires, if they're built on inauthenticity, will fall. Find out who you really are, who you really align with, build that muscle of being brave and speaking your truth. And yeah, it might take you a little longer, but you're gonna build an empire that's gonna sustain because it's built on truth. So, in short, being yourself is the best marketing strategy. I know there's a lot of tips and tactics to share about video and writing headlines and scripts, and those are all things I go over more in my program if you want to learn more. But I'd be doing a disservice to you all if I didn't share with you the biggest thing I have learned the past 4 years doing this business is this. Being yourself is the best marketing strategy in the world. And I would never give up being who I truly am to work with someone or take money from someone who doesn't align with me and is not my true client anyways. The world is craving this now, you guys. The world really is craving this. People want people who are real. Social media is such a highlight reel, you know, it's such a echo chamber of everyone. Oh, I'm the best. Look at my cars. Look at my success. Look at this. You have to share the losing sometimes. You have to share who you actually are under the surface. Because people do business with people, not businesses. Being yourself is a long-term strategy for attracting clients, employees, and followers. Being yourself is the best marketing strategy to actually build the business of your dreams. Thank you.
Wow. Shay, it's good. I'm literally getting texts while you're talking from people in this room saying, this is powerful shit.
Oh, good.
So thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, and thank you, Chris, for an amazing event. Is this awesome?
Thank you. Thank you, Shay.